What's up, everybody? This is Nina Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. And I am joined today by Lilian Maldonado. And you guys already know her. I've had her on here a few times because she's freaking amazing. And because she's amazing, I have her come back on. And she has this amazing organization called Ajusta tu Corona, which means adjust your crown. And she is using that to impact women's lives with domestic violence, people who are that she wants to just inspire them and educate them and give them tools and resources to help them move forward. And as you know, I am a survivor of domestic violence, and so is Lilian. And so we are here to talk to you about this amazing organization and what they are doing to really impact people's lives when it comes to this subject. So thank you so much for being here, Lilian. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. I love being on this show, and
Hey,
your
Russ.
support is means so much to me.
Hey, Russ. It's so nice that you're here. Thank you for being with us. I appreciate you. So, Lilian, I know that, we're going to be talking about a pretty big topic today, which is
Mhm.
domestic violence. And I know that you're used to speaking about domestic violence. This is something that this is your life's work. This is what you like,
Correct.
really have enjoyed doing, helping other women. And so I know that it's not just women. I know men are also victims of domestic violence. And
Mhm.
so I know that you also know that this is big time on the rise, unfortunately. Domestic violence is, man, it's been a real heartbreak for me to hear of the statistics and all of the numbers coming out with people who are suffering with domestic violence. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nina. It's really a tragedy because it is a nationwide epidemic. When I started this, it was my healing process, my journey to be able to help other women, um, and recognize a lot of women don't realize what a dangerous predicament they're in. They'll say,
Yeah,
oh, he's a great guy 90% of the time. It's just that 10%. And it's
right.
just that 1% that can get you killed. And they don't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's true though, Lily. And I think it's hard to see because, you love them. You love
Correct.
them. And you don't realize that you're just not being loved back, and it's a very difficult place to be in. And so I want to make sure that people know about what you're doing and the work that you're doing. And I really wanted to highlight Ajusta tu Corona because I know you have a big event coming up. And I wanted
Absolutely.
you to talk about why you do the work that you do and what Ajusta tu Corona is about. What's the goal here and the impact that it's going to have.
Ajusta tu Corona is a platform to assist women of diversity, and we focused on domestic violence. Why? Because I was a victim of domestic violence. One of the event co-organizers was a victim of domestic violence, and another one of the co-organizers was sexually abused. So the three of us got together and started sharing our stories with each other, and this had been a dream of mine for many years, and I wasn't able to launch it because I just, everything in God's time is how I look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
And when I did launch it 5 years ago, it was very popular in Connecticut. This year I decided to hold it in Florida. But the purpose of the program is for women to understand and realize that they are being abused. Like they have to
Yeah.
recognize where they are. They have to then self cultivate all of the self love. And the program ends with forgiveness. We're starting workshops in January, but the event that we're having this year is to assist Help Now of Osceola. So we picked this charity because they are a domestic violence shelter. And when I was, you know, looking around for which organization I wanted to support, I just loved the way that they answered the phone and they were quick to recognize that sometimes we just have a second. When we
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
that phone call, we just have that 1 second, and they
Yeah.
wasted no time by saying, "Hello, how may I help you?" Their first question was, "Are you safe?"
Right.
And to me, that spoke volumes. So that's the reason
Yeah.
that I picked them. Not to mention that they've helped so many women in the community. They're very well known, and that's the organization that we have decided to sponsor this year. The gala consists of performances, it consists of speakers, and this year the speakers were former victims of domestic violence and are
Powerful.
very are super, I don't want to say it because it's not to put anyone down, but they all have their masters. One is Latinas in Data, Gilda Alvarez. She started an organization that was a male dominated industry. There weren't many women involved in the industry of data engineering. So now she started this organization. So she'll be one of our speakers, and she has a tremendous story.
Powerful.
We also have another one called Sharisa Hardaway, and she happens to have written a book and was going through college when she was a victim of domestic violence, and none of her friends knew the situation that it was in. She,
Mm,
due to shame, fear, guilt, we keep it to ourselves. And
yeah.
instead of, sometimes people on the outside can tell. I think that if you're a victim of domestic violence, you can recognize domestic violence in another person, how
Yeah.
their attitude changes, how they move in life, and how they tend to keep to themselves because they don't want anyone to know what's going on in their life. So the gala speaks volumes. It's just a healing, educational, motivational, inspirational event that you leave there with your heart overjoyed, spiritually filled, and educated about what to
Yeah.
do and how not to judge. Does domestic
Right.
violence have a face? No, it was
No.
me. It was you. It's newswomen. It's senators. It's government. There is no face to domestic violence. It could be from the poorest family to the richest families.
That's right.
Domestic violence is widespread, and people need to know that. Why do I do this? There's a video that I sent you, Nina, and I appreciate
Yeah.
it if you played it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is powerful. All right, guys, I'm going to play a video. It's about 30-second clip. So just watch. Oh my gosh, Lillian.
So
Oh,
this video represents those women who did not make it out, those women who did not survive domestic violence. Um, Three of them I personally knew. I grew up,
wow. Wow.
and one of them is a family member. So you see, when what all these women had in common, they fell in love.
Right.
That was their only crime, was to have
Right.
fallen in love,
Right.
and they didn't come
Right.
out of it alive.
Yeah, that really put a little lump in my throat because it brings me to the moment where, my ex put the gun to my head and pulled the trigger, right? And it always makes me think about how good God is, because I know that it was God that got involved. And but I know that I wouldn't be here today. I know I wouldn't have been here today. And so when I see stories like this, and I know that it's not just the life that's lost, which is hard enough, but a lot of them leave their children behind. They leave their moms and dads, their brothers, their sisters, their friends. And, it's one thing when I think when somebody passes away of a natural cause, it's a whole nother thing when somebody rips somebody away from you. Lillian, I think most people can relate by knowing someone or knowing someone who knows someone, because I feel like it's almost as prevalent as cancer at this point, you
It
know?
absolutely
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Like I said, it's a national epidemic. There is not a day that does not go by. At this point, because I am known for this platform, in my direct message box, I get people sending me articles that they see every single day of women who are taken from us way too soon.
Yeah.
And as I stated, I know that men are victims of domestic violence. The difference is that they don't report it as much as women.
Right.
And so, because they're not reporting it, we're not seeing stories about them. There's no
Right.
shelters for them. So we don't see as much on the men as there is for women. It's not that we're knocking you, is that there is just not as much reported for you. But because it is reported so much more for women, that is why I tend to focus more on that, on them. It's devastating. It's a national epidemic. And Nina knows this. I'm formerly from Connecticut, and I moved to South Carolina last year. And when I moved to South Carolina, it was totally out of the blue. My family didn't understand why, because all of my family lives in Florida. And I believe in my heart that I was put there for a reason,
Hmm.
because in doing statistics and in trying to find out more information about the area that I live in, I found out that South Carolina is number 6 for domestic violence
Wow.
across the United States. And they have very, and it's not only them, but the shelters are overfilled.
Wow.
Trying to help someone to get into a transitional home or a safe place for an evening is almost close to impossible. Our shelters are overfilled of people trying to get away and then trying to get assistance.
Right.
It's almost impossible that these women, because they can't get the help, they're sleeping in cars, they have their children in cars with them, and because they can't get any assistance, they feel hopeless, and they end up going back to the abuser. There
Right.
is so much work that needs to be done for this cause. So
Yeah.
this is the reason for the gala. This is the reason for Ajusta Tu Corona platform. This is the reason for the gala, so that we may raise funds to assist these women in need, to help, just to give as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like your gala. I was there last year. It was really powerful. You have amazing speakers. You have the entertainment piece of it too, that is inspirational. It's not just entertainment. There's something attached to it, right? It means something. And it was very powerful, and it was even more powerful as your guest to sit at a table and talk to the other women. That was
Correct.
the really powerful piece, because I
Yeah,
ended up learning so much about the women at my table and the struggles and the things that they have overcome to be there, and how they are now using their lives to impact other people. That was super powerful for me. And I know that one of your goals for having this gala also, aside from raising the money that you're raising for the shelter, is also to have maybe women who can't afford to be there to go, or women who need to be impacted, or need to see that there's a light at the end of this tunnel to go. And
absolutely.
that's my plea right now to the people who are going to be listening and watching, is to, if you can't go, we get it, but buy a ticket. Buy a ticket, and we'll give it to a woman. We'll give it to a woman to go. Whether it's at the shelter, woman from the shelter, a woman that is
Mhm.
struggling, a woman that needs encouragement, right, Lillian? I'm sure that me and you have spoken about this. I know that's on your heart, right?
Absolutely. So we
Yeah.
have asked that um, the platform where you can purchase your ticket is called givebutter.com/ATC2022. When you go to that link, it will give you an explanation of why we do what we do. There
Right.
is a letter attached, there is a tax ID for those of you that need a tax write off. But we also have sponsorship packages, and we ask that if you cannot personally make the event, we would love for you to be at the event. But if you cannot make it, we ask that you purchase a ticket for a woman in need, who may be able to attend, that needs her spirits lifted, that needs this healing process.
Yeah.
I know every single one of you out there knows someone personally or knows someone who knows someone that has been a victim of domestic violence or some type of adversity who can use this positive message and this
Yeah.
great event to lift their spirits. Even on the bottom of the page, it says, I don't want to be a sponsor, but I just want to donate. As something as little as $20 is helping us to help the shelter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anything that you can give from your heart to
Mhm.
help for this cause, to help someone in need, we are forever grateful.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing too, as you were talking, is somebody who owns a business can buy a ticket, a few tickets, and do a tax write-off as a, like they wanted to donate to send these women from the shelter or something like that. So
Correct.
I think that if you own a business or something and you feel like, you know what, I can't go, but I know I can buy one or two tickets or three tickets or whatever for these women to attend. I really encourage you to do that. Dig into your heart and realize that not everybody can afford to go. Not everybody can go, but they want to be there. And so we want to help them as much as possible. And we want to give this shelter the biggest funds we can give it so that they can keep doing the work, because there's a lot of work, Lillian. And as there's like these, I know for me, when I ran away after the gun was put to my head and all of that, the next day I ran away. And when I went to the first shelter, they were like, we're full. You're going to have to find another shelter. And they gave me another shelter to go to. I cannot tell you the desperation in my heart of thinking, if I have nowhere to go, I have to go back. I have
Yeah.
to go back and he's going to kill me. That was how I felt, because he knew my family, he knew where I lived, they all lived, he knew where my friends lived. So it wasn't like I was going to escape anywhere, right? I had to go to a shelter. I had to. So what you're doing is huge. And that's why I wanted you on here. Go ahead.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts to see how difficult it is for women nowadays.
Yeah.
I was too young when I was going through domestic violence. I was too young to work. I was too young to reach out. And I actually was told to leave the home because I had gotten pregnant.
Right.
And nowadays, due to social media and tracking and
Mm-hmm,
GPS, it's even
mm-hmm. It's a good
harder.
point. It's a
It's
good
even
point.
harder for these
Yeah.
women to run for their lives,
Mm-hmm.
because if they don't get rid of their phones immediately, they'll track them through GPS. They'll track their children. They know their whereabouts. They know where they work. Um, I need to know. My reasoning is I need to know
Mm.
why why isn't there more being done for them? Why is the restraining orders not working? Why are women dying at their jobs where they should feel
Right.
safe?
Right.
You
Right.
understand why? There's so many questions to this, and I am just starting to
Right.
peel back the onion. There's so many layers to it.
Right.
And
Right.
without your help, is it just becomes an impossible situation.
Right.
And I want to be able to help as many women as I can. I want Ajusta tu Corona to be able to shelter as many women as they can.
Yeah.
I want to be I want for all of us to be able to write to our congressmen and our senators and our president and ask him, why isn't more being done? Why is
Right.
there not places for these women to run to?
Right. And it's because of the rise too, right, Lillian? I mean, there's so much and so little people willing to do the work. And so there's a lot more victims than there is hands to help, right? But that's why what you're doing is important, because I feel that everybody who gets out of their own way to go to help, right? I mean, and we're not even asking, all of you who are listening, we're not even asking you to come and help set up the event. If you want to do that, great, we'll take it. But what we're asking is for the financial help that we need to get these women to the safety that they need, and also to help these women come to the event and be inspired and to learn and to be able to speak to other people who are there that can help encourage them and give them tools and resources and things that they can utilize to keep moving forward. And that's what we're
Absolutely.
saying here, right? That's what we're saying. And so tell us a little
Absolutely.
bit about the gala so people know what the gala is. Let's talk about the gala because that's going to be amazing.
Oh my God, the gala is so amazing. I'm so proud
Mhm.
of how far we've come with it. It is the topic of the gala is kintsugi, a masterpiece. And kintsugi is the Japanese art of broken pieces being put together with gold, turning it into a masterpiece.
Ah,
So that is
okay.
the topic of the gala. The theme of the gala is English tea breakfast. So we want to see you with your big hats, your English fascinators, your flower dresses, or just your, you know, just doesn't have to be a dress, just your fascinator, your big hat, showing that you're
Right.
going to have tea, you're going to a breakfast, it is a brunch. You're going to be filled with so much joy because you're going to be listening to the speakers and be inspired by them. And then we have entertainment, and the entertainment is just going to be amazing this year. We have two amazing singers, we have a poet who has been frantically writing and checking in every day, super excited.
That's
And
wonderful.
then we have activities. So it is interactive. You're not just going to sit there and go listen to speakers and think that that's it. No, we want you to get up. We want you to be motivated. We want you to move, shake your hips, stretch your body. And we want you to participate in a healing activity.
That's awesome.
Get rid
Great.
of all that negative vibe you have going on inside you, that fear, that shame, anything that is holding you
That's
back.
good.
We
That's
want you
good.
to release it at this event and leave full of life.
Yeah, that's so fantastic, right? Because I remember when I was going through domestic violence and I felt so very alone. I felt so very alone. And I know that when you feel alone like that, it's very hard to feel inspired. It's very, very hard to feel inspired. And so I think that if you can bring a little bit of joy and inspiration to someone, that in itself will leave a lasting impact, even if it's them taking it with them to the back to the shelter to where their children are or something like that. It gives them some hope and resources because they know, oh wait, Lillian is a domestic violence coach. Hold on a second. This speaker is a speaker that knows about this topic. And oh wait, this shelter is where they're giving the money, so maybe that shelter can help me. Like you would be very like surprised and amazed at the interconnected network because everybody who's going there, Lillian, is going with the same purpose in mind to help women of domestic violence. And because when you go there with that same concept in mind, everybody's there and willing to help and to pour themselves into others. So fantastic.
Without a doubt. I'm super
Yeah,
excited. The event
me
is
too.
October 22nd. The last day to purchase tickets for the event is October 13th because the event is catered. And of course, we have to give the caterer their number. So we ask that you go to the page and purchase your ticket as soon as possible. Purchase a ticket,
Yeah.
sponsorship. We have a program for the event where we will be taking advertising. Ads, and also we will be taking dedications to those that have passed on from domestic violence. So if you want to send a dedication to someone and put it into print in the program, definitely we would be glad to do that for you.
And it's givebutter.com
Hmm.
slash ATC 2022,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
All right. Scroll. Let's see if we can get this up and going on there. Let's see. There we go.
There
So
you
there it is,
go.
guys. It's givebutter.com slash ATC 2022. Now, I really need you guys to get on there, purchase a ticket. If you can't go, we understand. We'd love you there. We'd really love you there. I'm going. I already booked my hotel room. My Airbnb is booked. I am already on my way, Lily. I'm on my way. But I tell you, I
Yay!
cannot wait to be there. And I really want you guys to really consider the fact that, man, I can't go. That's okay. Please pour in however you can. Please still give money and donate, because remember, that's still going to the shelter for women of
Absolutely.
domestic violence. And please, if you can, even more, buy the tickets, because the tickets, you say, Lillian, hey, listen, I can't go, but I'm going to buy 5 tickets. Lillian can now resource those 5 tickets to the 5 women that are going to go, and the proceeds of whatever comes out of this event is going towards the shelter. And
Yes.
I cannot tell you how excited I am, Lillian, and how proud I am of for you doing this in
Thank
a
you.
whole different town, in a whole different place. And thank you for sharing that extremely impactful video. That really touched me. It moves me. I got a lump in my throat, because when I see these beautiful, gorgeous women who all they did was love someone,
Hmm.
and it cost them their life.
That's it.
And I want to be shoulder to shoulder with you as you fight through this, and know that I don't want any more women to die. I don't want any more men to die. I don't want any more women or men to go through domestic violence at all, period. And
Hmm.
remember that it's not just the men or the women going through it, but their children too. They're watching
Absolutely.
and they're suffering because of it. So I am super grateful for you taking the time to be on Straight Talk. Thank you for being here, and let's spread the word as much as we can. Like I said, guys, even if you can't purchase, share, 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 and ask people to buy, ask people to purchase, because you're giving to an amazingly real and worthy cause. So, Lynn, is there anything else you'd like to say before we close out?
Just that I'm forever grateful. And like she said, share, share, share. The event is October 22nd, 2022. October is the month for breast cancer and domestic violence awareness. So,
Mm,
this is the reason that we are holding the event this month. We really want you there. If you cannot, remember what I stated. If you cannot purchase a ticket and can find it in your heart to donate as little as $20 to the shelter, my heart is just overjoyed.
yeah.
Thank you.
So givebutter.com ATC 2022. And I'm going to play the video one more time on our way out. Thank you so much for being here, Lillian. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Good
Thank
night.
you. So grateful. Good night.